Howdy folks, and welcome back to Elite with the mighty Jingles. I hope you're all having a good weekend, and yes, I am up to something. You see, after my little encounter with the listening post mystery in the previous episode, I thought it was about time I started investigating some of the more unusual stuff out there. And when I say investigating, I mean of course going to the Codex and cheating. Because the Codex contains lists of not just everything that you have discovered, but some of the things that other people have discovered. Like, for example, xenological sites, Thargoid interceptors, scavengers, scouts, uplink devices, pods and devices. Sounds interesting. Where's that? Well, apparently Commander Factabulous discovered a Thargoid device at the reported location here, somewhere in the Pleiades sector, which shouldn't be surprising. The Pleiades sector is absolutely crawling with Thargoids. Although what is surprising is that this system appears to have acquired a proper name since it was first discovered. It was now called the Delphi system, which suggests that there's been some kind of development in the system before it was first discovered. That's usually the way things work in Elite. A system is generally known by its catalogue number until either something significant happens there or something significant is built there. And it's not an unpopulated system. It has a population, at least according to the galaxy map, of a couple of 100,000. I wonder if the choice of the name, however, is significant. The Delphi system. Because Delphi, of course, is where the ancient Greek oracle was located. The oracle, of course, was supposed to have the power to see the future. And the decisions that the oracle made could influence the rise and fall of kingdoms. But we're about to arrive. And I don't know precisely where in this system this so-called Thargoid device is. I just know it's in this system somewhere. So we're going to have to stop. Oh, not alone. An Alliance Challenger. Yeah, the Challenger was one of a series of ships designed by the Alliance specifically for fighting Thargoids. I wonder if that's significant. Anyway, time to slow down and do a full spectral scan of this system. And it was while I was in the process of doing this that I started to notice a few unusual things about the planet Delphi 6. Not just that it's an ammonia world, which is barely unusual, but also there are two locations on Delphi 6, one of them human, and the other one Thargoid. And that's not all, because there are some interesting things in orbit around Delphi 6 as well. That's an installation that goes by the name of the Sentinel. Now I don't know what it is, but a Sentinel is something that watches, and it's in orbit around a planet that has a Thargoid location. So Delphi 6 is starting to look like a fairly decent candidate for further investigation. Just need to, stay away from all of those non-human signal sources surrounding it. I'm going to check out this Sentinel in orbit first. Okay. Kind of looks a bit like the Gateway Station in Aliens. No idea what its purpose is. But its name would suggest that it's here to watch whatever's happening on the surface of Delphi 6. Let's see if we can get closer and investigate. It's certainly not a Thargoid structure. It's definitely human built, which means I probably won't get obliterated if I get closer, although, well, that's no guarantee either. You get a bit closer to certain human-built structures than they like. They at least tend to warn you first. I guess we'll soon find out. It's a military installation. Nobody's shooting at me yet. Oh, alert, trespass logged. Yeah, let's get out of here. I don't know how long I have to clear the area before they start shooting. But let's not take any chances. Alright, so there's some kind of military installation in orbit around Delphi 6. It gets very itchy trigger fingers if you get too close. Although I'm able to get very, very close before I trigger the boundary warning. And it's called the Sentinel. See if I can get a scan. Targets identified. Use data link scanner to interrogate. Oh yeah, this is like popping the locks on the hatches of cargo holds on megaships. You've got to be close. and that will trigger a lethal response, so I'm not really sure I want to do this. Okay, let's leave the Sentinel alone for now. Let's check out the planet itself in slightly more detail. I mean, I scanned and surface mapped it, but I didn't see anything on the surface. And now that I come to think of it, you can't land on ammonia worlds anyway. In fact, the closest landfall planet is Delphi 5A. In fact, Delphi 5A is the only landfall planet in this entire system. So if there's something Thargoidy around Delphi 6, it has to be one of the signal sources in orbit. And there's a very good chance that if I stumble into the wrong one, I'm going to start getting shot at. And I'm not really ready for that. Let's go and check out Delphi 5A. Before very long, I'm in orbit around Delphi 5A and I'm popping probes into the surface to get the planet mapped out. Incidentally, there is an orbital station around Delphi 5A, and appropriately enough, it's called the Oracle. There we go. I'm seeing all kinds of interesting things on the surface of this planet, and this is a planet that I can actually land on. Unknown structure scan. That sounds like something I might want to check out. And I did try. I really did. I was prepared to put down on the surface and very timidly go where probably at least a couple of dozen other people had boldly gone before. Unfortunately, once I got to within a couple of 100 kilometers of the surface, I was stopped short by a message telling me that a permit is required to land on this planet. Which I have to say is kind of shit for a number of reasons, because, well, first and foremost, this is the only reported location of a Thargoid device available in the Codex. So it's kind of shit that the Codex sends you to a place that you can't actually land on and investigate. And also, when you're checking out planets in the system map, a planet with a red halo indicates a planet that can be landed on, but one which you don't currently hold the permit for. And a planet with a blue halo indicates a planet that you can just go ahead and land on. And this planet had a blue halo. So, Frontier Developments, I have one question for you. What the fuck? Well, that was really disappointing. And further investigation revealed that the organisation with whom you must curry favour in order to get the permit for this planet is absolutely nobody knows. Shit. So I thought I'd check the Codex again. I have to find something that I can actually visit and poke with a stick, otherwise this is going to be a really boring video. And oh, hang on a minute. The Guardians. The ancient race that were kicking the Thargoids' arses 6 different ways to Sunday until they got far too clever for their own boots and got wiped out by their own technology. Guardian technology. I could really use one of those Guardian frameshift drive boosters. And I have absolutely no idea how to go about getting one. But I suppose the first step is to visit a Guardian technology site. Alright, we're going to do that. This one's 700 light years away. So I've got time to read up on the process before we get there. Which of course I didn't bother doing, because who reads the manual these days? Anyway, it'll spoil the surprise. Well anyway, 700 light years and 18 jumps later, I have arrived in the IC2391 Sector HGX B1 some numbers and letters system. And sure enough, a full spectral scan of the system reveals that there is one planet in this system that has a Guardian location on the surface. It is a landfall planet, and hopefully this time it's not a landfall planet that requires some kind of bullshit permit for me to actually land on it. It's the second moon of the third planet in this system, and while it is absolutely tiny with a radius of less than 1500 kilometers, its high metal content gives it a gravity around about a fifth that of Earth. And sure enough, after giving the surface a damn good probing, I do find, as well as a whole bunch of biological and geological features, pay dirt, a Guardian structure. Of course I've arrived on the night side, so I'm going to need to switch the old image enhancement on in order to see where I'm going. And there it is. Let's do a slow circle of the complex before we do anything hasty. Structure looks intact, but they definitely don't have power. I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of aliens quotes in today's video. Or or aliens misquotes, if we're being completely accurate. Yeah, it all looks very dead, but I've been fooled before. Alright, it looks clear. Bringing her around for a 709er. For years everybody's wondered what the hell Corporal Ferro meant when she said that in Aliens. It just means landing without tower clearance. Oh, hang on a minute. I haven't heard that music before. That's, yeah. I don't like the sound of that music. It's not scary, but it's not exactly comforting either. Landing with lights alone here, not the night vision. I want to see what this actually looks like. Well, I'll look for a spot to put down. So this is Guardian tech, is it? Oh, hang on, is that lit up ahead? Something does actually appear to have power here. Ooh. Well, the structure does not look intact, but they do still have power. Haven't seen anything moving around down there, so that's good. Wish that music would stop, it's not helping. Right. Well, anyway, I found myself a patch of clear ground that I am actually able to land on, and nothing seems to be boiling up out of the ground and coming over to eat me, so we're going to pop into the SRV and go and take a closer look.
Drive assist.
Now, I have actually watched a couple of YouTube videos at some point in the past about these Guardian sites, so I'm not going into this completely ignorant, just mostly ignorant. The extent of my knowledge, having not actually visited one of these Guardian sites before, is that there are things that I can scan and things that I can shoot, and it's also possible that there are things that are going to shoot me. Oh, here we go. Guardian orb. What's a Guardian orb? I'll switch to analysis mode and see if I can get myself a data scan and find out what a Guardian orb is. Seems like the right thing to do. Just need to get the cursor actually pointed at it. So getting off this rock would be useful. There we go. No, a bit further back. No, yes, maybe. Well, that scanned, but it didn't seem to do anything. Right, so a Guardian orb, as far as my instruments are able to work out, is a Guardian orb. Well, we'll take it. You never know, it might be useful. No idea exactly what it's going to be useful for. In many ways, I should have probably done a bit more research before actually landing here. But who reads the manual these days anyway? So, yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's been here in a long time. There's only 1/5 G in this place, so I need to be careful. Oh, I don't want to go too fast, or I could end up flipping the old SRV. What's this? Some kind of arch? Oh, something on the scanner. Guardian tablet. Alright. Oh, what's that? What is that? What is that? It's shooting at me. Shit. It's at this point where I'm not ashamed to admit I fucking panicked. I really needn't have. I'm being attacked by 2 Guardian Sentinels. Oh shit. Missiles. Well, good news, it turns out you can actually shoot the missiles down. But while you're shooting at the missiles, you're just sitting there getting hit by their particle weapons. And if those missiles hit you, they tend to send you flying. There is a trick to dealing with these Sentinel things. But it involves not panicking. So I've already completely failed. matters weren't helped by the fact that it is incredibly difficult to steer an SRV when you're in the gun turret, especially if you get hit by these missiles,
Chassis integrity.
because it's next to impossible to figure out which way you're pointing when you come to a halt after taking the missile impact. So get out of the gun turret. I need to get my ass back on board my ship. Where's my ship? Jingles, look at the heads up display. It's quite clearly indicated by the green marker. I don't have time to look at the heads up display. I'm busy panicking here. These Guardian Sentinels, I mean, they're not a pushover, but as long as you don't panic and you take your time with them, an SRV, which remember can't be upgraded in the same way that a ship can, and can't be engineered, but an SRV is entirely capable of, oh, fuck, taking out 2 Guardian Sentinels with minimal, if any, hull damage. But the trick is to not panic. So I've already failed. And these little buggers are between me and my ship. This is not good. Oh, more missiles. Oh, they're attacking the ship. Well, the ship shield should... Oh, bollocks, no, more missile hits. I've flipped the SRV again. You can see why I was panicking, can't you? And I'm just kind of sitting here, flipped over like a beetle on its back, taking more and more missile and particle weapon hits. So, I wasn't really having a warm, fluffy feeling in the pit of my stomach here. I'm going to have to put power to the engines rather than the shields in order to get the thrusters working to try to get this thing back with the wheels pointing down. Yeah. You can see why I was panicking. Come on, thrusters. Come on, nearly, no. You know, the missile impacts might actually help me right the SRV. And, yeah, there we go, right. Okay, no, slow down, Jingles, slow down. Don't accelerate too quickly. This planet only has 1/5 of a G. If you try to accelerate too quickly in turn, you will just spin around in circles. Ignore the Sentinels. Get back to the ship before your SRV gets blown out from underneath you. Which is what I was thinking at the time, although the tone of voice I was thinking in was more sort of than the calm and collected way that I just described it to you. Right, come on. Come on. Hello? Why can't I board? Oh, shit, no. Come on, nearly. Where is the boarding light? What's going on here? Come on, I'm getting shot at. Right, why won't it let me board the ship? You know, it took me an embarrassingly long length of time to realise what the actual problem here was. My Asp Explorer has a very limited cargo bay, and the cargo bay at the moment is full of cargo collection limpets. I have a Guardian Orb in the inventory of my SRV, and what happens when you dock an SRV with a ship is any cargo on the SRV is transferred to the cargo bay of the ship. But I can't do that because the cargo bay of the ship is full. So, let's just say that the current circumstances were not exactly conducive to calm, cool and collected cargo management. For God's sake. All I needed to do was eject the Guardian Orb. I know that now, but at the time I couldn't figure out why I was trying to board the ship and it kept taking me to the cargo inventory screen and asking me to swap limpets and Guardian Orbs around. And to be completely fair, what I was mostly focused on at the time was the rapidly decreasing hull integrity of my SRV and the fact that my shields kept collapsing as I just took, yeah, that over and over and over. Luckily, as soon as the telepresence link with the SRV was cut upon its destruction, I was immediately booted back into the cockpit of the Asp and wasted no time whatsoever in getting this thing airborne because I was still getting shot at and my shields had just gone offline and I really didn't want to lose the ship. So let's put some distance between myself and those Guardian Sentinels. So I thought it would be a lot easier, after recharging my shields a little, to take out these Sentinels from the air. I mean, I've just outfitted the Asp Explorer with a couple of engineered beam lasers. In theory, that is certainly possible. In theory. You see, while you can lock onto those Guardian Sentinel missiles and shoot them down relatively easily, locking onto the Sentinels themselves is, well, it's a lot more problematic. You can lock onto the missiles from miles away, but you can't lock onto the Sentinels that are launching them until you're close enough to throw rocks at them. I mean, check this out. We'll see the missile launch, so I know where the Sentinel must be, but he's not showing up on the sensors. There's certainly nothing there for me to lock onto. Yeah. I can see the little buggers, but I cannot get a target lock. Now, luckily, if you don't have a target lock, gimbaled beam lasers just work as fixed beam lasers.
Under attack.
But now they're close enough to shoot at me, and I can't shoot down their particle beams. So, yeah. Anyway, cut a very long story short. I did eventually manage to get the two little bastards without crashing the Asp too much. So, hooray, I guess. However, my surface exploration days are well and truly over for the immediate future because I no longer have a surface reconnaissance vehicle. You can fit your ship with a planetary vehicle hangar that carries 2 SRVs, but I kind of cheaped out and I only had the one. So, yeah. It was at this point where I rapidly came to the conclusion that I was going to have to go away and do 2 things. First, buy another SRV. In fact, buy another 2 SRVs and get a slightly more expensive hangar. And it was also probably going to be a very good idea to do a little bit more research into exactly what these Guardian sites entailed. If only I'd known the fun and games that were waiting for me upon my return to this Guardian site, I might not have bothered. But that is going to have to wait for a future episode because we are done for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.